Shiren the Wanderer, the Tower of Fortune and the Dice of Fate. The fifth in the Shiren series, this game was released originally for the DS in 2010 in Japan, with a later release for the Vita that made it into our shores in 2016, and more recently for PC and the Switch in 2020. Shiren is part of the Mystery Dungeon series and is characterized by randomized dungeons and losing your level and items on death, which can be a bit nerve-wracking for some. Let's see if this game is worth the stress. The story is quite simple. Shiren arrives into a town and hears that if you get to the top of a mysterious tower nearby, you can change your fate. A girl from the same town is about to die from a weird sickness and his childhood friend is about to go to the tower to save her, so you decide to help out. You meet some other characters with different objectives throughout the towns and dungeons, but these things are mostly excuses to explore the main dungeons and the extra ones, so the story and characters take a distant second place to the gameplay. Graphics are what one can expect from a DS title. They are simple but clear, colorful, cute, and don't get in the way of the game at all. The audio design is equally simple but good. You probably won't remember any of the tunes, but they blend with the action quite well, so you won't get tired of them either, at least while going through the main campaign. Basically, there are two sides to the game. Towns, where you move like in any RPG and talk to characters, buy, sell, and set other things for your adventure. Due to the permadeath mechanic, the item storage, bank, and the ability to mark your weapon and shield so they can be recovered even if you die are quite important. Plus the point store, which gives you the chance to buy an item that lets you teleport to town instead of dying, which becomes primordial. The dungeons, and where you'll spend most of the game, work in quite a different way. You move square by square, and when you do so, the enemies move too. Taking actions depletes your hunger bar, so you need to be mindful of having enough food, but don't worry, it doesn't deplete fast, and I never had problems running out of food, so it's not a big deal. You also heal damage when doing non-aggressive actions. The game loop consists of calculating your moves to defeat the enemies in the best way using your weapons or the huge amount of items, scrolls and staffs while you look for the exit to the floor. Sounds simple, but the variety of enemies and things you can do get pretty crazy the more you progress. Need to mention that you can only carry 20 items at a time, but you also find some pots in which you can put items so you can carry more things. Some of these are basic, like the preserving ones where you put your food so it won't spoil, but others have a wide variety of different effects like selling items or merging them. Probably one of the least fun parts of the game is the huge amount of time you'll spend playing with your inventory due to this. In the last two dungeons, a day-night mechanic appears. Day is normal, but at night your weapons won't do jack and you need to equip a torch to see more than one square around. Enemies' damage also becomes ridiculous in some cases, so you need to use everything you can to avoid them. Luckily, they also have a problem seeing you, and using some abilities that you set in 8 slots and that you can use one time per floor. So you need to be careful about using them and especially about which ones you choose to have. At the beginning you only have one, but you'll soon be getting more through people you find in the dungeon and sometimes spontaneously. The first times night will likely destroy you, but eventually it's not that bad and at least brings a twist to things, although I never particularly like it. There is also a mode where you can rescue people or be rescued when dying, so items won't be lost, but taking advantage of this will be reliant on how many people are still playing the game when you do so. Cool, but happily not necessary if you buy undo herbs in the point shop. The game is pretty difficult, but at least you can bring allies and they never lose their levels, so they will become more powerful the more you die or escape. The main story took me close to 20 hours, but the main plot seems more like an introduction to the game due to the huge number of extra dungeons with special rules and settings you can go in besides it. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes you like 200 hours to complete all of it. Personally, after ending the main story and playing around a bit, I had my fill of the game and was ready to move on. Fans of roguelike games though will probably have a field day with how much content this game has. A 5 for fans of the genre, and a 4 for the rest of mortals like me. The game is certainly fun, but some design choices, like considering that you died and lose everything if the game turns off while playing, can be utterly frustrating if they happen to you. Or the time I ruined my best weapon when synthesizing it with another one and making it so it would lose levels every time I used it. And of course I didn't realize until it was too late, since the effect of things are difficult to guess unless you read a guide. In general, due to how easy it is to mess things up, this is the type of game that will give you more the more you put into it. If you have the will to research and test things, you will have a blast. Otherwise, although initially fun, the game might end frustrating you. Great, but not for everyone. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. You can expect more reviews on RPGs in the future.